bringing you the latest news from Frenship Athletics. This is the Tiger Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. This is the High School Fan Zone on a Wednesday night. We're going to jump into the Tiger Fan Zone. If you're watching on TV, you see Trent Hilliard to my left. We're going to talk about his Tigers and a tough game last night against a really good Idlew team. I've seen them play a couple times. Before then, I said we'd run through the girls' scores from last night. That was one of them, non-district game. Idlew 40, Frenship 37. In District 3 5A, Monterey found a way to come back against Lubbock Cooper. I actually went over. That was an afternoon game, and I just told Trent I'm a weird basketball junkie. There was an early game. I was going to be there. So Monterey, I think they scored 8 of the last 10, came back and beat Lubbock Cooper 68-64. Coronado beat Lubbock High 65-16. Liberty and Estacado. Trent got a good view of Liberty at the Cap Rock. They have kind of found themselves here. They beat Estacado 66-42. Memorial, who Trent's got a little bit of a vested interest in because he's got a daughter who's helps Jason Cooper out over there. They beat Levelland 62-34. That score surprised me a little bit. I thought they might win, but that one caught my attention a little bit. Let's see. Talkington did better. They lost, but they lost to Roosevelt 65-31. They're making progress over there at Talkington Academy. In TAPS, Midland Christian, number 1 ranked team in TAPS 5A, beat Trinity Christian 42-26. KPA beat Christ the King 44-33. I mentioned Frenship. I think that's it on the girls' game. So, Trent, how are you doing?
Wonderful. Doing great. So ready to start up district, and so everybody's on a reset right now, and you go to 0-0 and get ready. So we talked about that today with our kids, that these are basically been exhibition games up to this point, and now the season starts, and it's a 10-game sprint to the finish, and so we're excited to have the games that really count now.
And in your district, this has been true ever since I started the website. You say 10 games, and that seems like, but then all of a sudden you get into it, and it gets short pretty quick. You got to take care of business right from the beginning. For sure,
you can't have any slip ups, and we start off on the road in a different environment, going to Midland High. And so, it's a unique setup because our freshmen play at the freshman center, our JV plays at the high school, and then we play at the junior college. And so it's 3 different sites. You've got buses coordinated going everywhere. You've got coaches at those other sites that have to finish their game, get on a bus, and come. And sometimes they don't show up until first quarter's over. And so all of the things that you do and your assistants are taken care of on the bench, you're not. We're actually short one coach. One of our coaches had to have surgery, and so she can't travel. And so our Coach Ballinger is going to have to coach the freshman group, so that leaves just me over there at the varsity. So we're hoping they can get over there. They've been instructed, don't call any timeouts, make this thing fast. Let's get out of there, load up the bus, and get back because it's district, and we can't afford to mess around on that stuff.
Coaches are creatures of routine, and that probably throws you off a little bit to turn around to say something, and there's nobody there to talk to.
Yeah, for sure. And we treat it normally. It's a great prep because it's more like a playoff atmosphere and setup where the varsity travels a little bit later on the bus because we're just going. Normally we would go and watch the JV before us and travel all together. So since we're going to a different site, we'll just get to Midland Junior College at 5 o'clock, walk in, do the whole hour before like we would in a playoff game. You're in a collegiate facility like you might be in a playoff game. So we kind of use it as a prep for that, even though here we are, first game of district doing it. So that part of it's good. Not having all of our coaches there is not, and but we'll get it all figured out, and you've got to have a good start. We're coming in, and all the teams in our district are really have great records. We're down there on the bottom of the district with our 17-8 record. Midland is sitting at 14-8, and I think that's the worst percentage of everybody in our district. So it'll be a chance to see who's for real, who's been playing teams playing up to get them ready for this, and who's just been setting an easy schedule. We know ours is tough. You mentioned all the teams that we're familiar with and have played. We've played everybody that we can that's a state ranked team around here, and feel like that's going to prepare us and that we're ready for district play. We'll find out for sure on Friday.
Yeah, you called them exhibition games, but you've played some pretty tough exhision games, because I just looking at your schedule. I know I saw you against Seminole. I saw you against the Monterey the first time. I'm going to be real careful. The second time you played Monterey, that was a little bit of an outlier. What happened
for sure.
You came back against Idler. You guys your girls are tested, and that's been important for you guys, because you had the big two back,
right?
And then not a ton of girls that had played a ton of varsity minutes, so that's probably toughened some skin.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We make sure that we're ready to do that, and I think we've played 12 teams that are ranked in the top 12 in state in their division. So we're counting on that to prepare us for Friday.
We got more to talk about with Trent Hilliard about the Tiger basketball team when we come back after this break in the High School Fan Zone.
Diving headfirst into Frenship athletics. You're listening to the Tiger Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. This is the High School Fan Zone on a Wednesday night. We're with Trent Hilliard, 10th year at Frenship?
12th.
We just talked about that long ago. You got there right when they became 6A, correct?
Right. Yeah, I came in April of 14. It's when I started there, and so we just transitioned to 6A, and so the 12 years that we've spent there, I've been there for the whole time, and now we'll be moving down to 5A next year, and we're hoping that it's just a Lubbock County district. When we go down, that they'll send Amarillo off with Wichita Falls and make us and Cooper, Memorial, Lubbock High, Coronado, Monterey a 6-team district. And man, how much fun would that be if we feel confident we'll all be in the same district. We're just hoping it's just us that's in there. And I mean, you don't even have to travel outside the county once you get to district play. And the crowds are going to be fun. We've missed out on that so much with having our closest district, rivals 2 hours away. There for the first 2 years in 6A, Coronado was with us, Monterey was with us. We had those rivalries, but it's been 10 years since we've had those, and so we just don't have the crowds that you get. We have bigger crowds in non-district play than we do when we get into district play. So it'd be fun to get those back, get the students back, and give them something to be excited about. So we're looking forward to renewing those rivalries in games that really, really matter in district play.
And selfishly, for my HubCityPreps.com perspective, I'm right there with you. In fact, a few years from now, I think Liberty will be up there with you as well, and it's going to be a pretty powerful district anyway. And then when Liberty gets up there, that's just going to add to it a little bit. For sure. It'll be a whole lot of fun. Of course, the way things are growing in both of those, they'll be moving up. Don't know, how that is going to affect Lubbock Cooper if they stay 5A. Even at the Frenship District, Memorial's just taken off, and so they're not too far away from being 6A on this last one. So they'll definitely in 2 years, unless there's some lines redrawn or some reconfigurations there, feel like that they're going to be moving up to that 6A, and so there'll be some changes, but we're looking forward to what those next 2 years will be, and it'll be a little tough, having that Frenship Memorial set up and going with that, especially because those kids that are sophomores now, they started out as Tigers, and you've seen them. I had 2 of them that played varsity for me, and great kids, great work. They're big reason why Memorial's having the success that they're having this year. So it's fun to see them able to move and now take on those leadership roles and really do things, and they're going to have to be leaders for the next 3 years, because it's them. They're the upperclassmen for 3 years over there. Before I mentioned your big 2, and for those who aren't as familiar with them, you've got Addison Bollinger, you mentioned a couple times, has signed with Oklahoma State or committed? She has signed. Okay. Yes. And you've got Jada Jackson, who's just a junior and is going to sign with whoever she wants to be. Pretty much, yeah. She's being recruited by literally everybody in the country. Yeah, I mean, we've had all sorts of schools there all fall during
during the season. Got a text the other day. I think Georgia Tech's coming to our game on Tuesday. These people were traveling in. We told a lot of them, hey, we're in the Metroplex. It's easier for them to get in, flying right in Dallas, watching. Right. So we had a bunch there watching us against Mesquite and when we were in the Argyle showcase as well. So she's been recruited by pretty much everybody that and not just recruited, already offered, and we'll have her pick. And so she's an outstanding player and just as good a person as she is player. And so it's great to see her get all that, and she's still just humble and the hardest worker that you can imagine, and that's so much fun when you've got someone like Bollinger that can do all the things she does. Jada do all the things she can do as well. So,
and you and your coaches have done a great job with both of them, but Jada in particular, I remember her when she was really young. You could see the potential, but she was just kind of out here, and everything was just kind of wild. Now she plays so much under control. If you've not seen Jada play, go see. I've got the stats up in front of me that you sent me. She's averaging 17 points and 13 rebounds, and I think about 3 blocks a game. She plays the game. Aaliyah Chavez was incredible. I don't think there'll ever be a player in Lubbock, Texas like Aaliyah. I don't know if there may not be another one like Jada, and I say that. Melhado over at Memorial's starting to look a little bit like her. But Jada plays the game differently than any high school girl I've ever seen it.
Yeah. She's one of those kids that you look in the future and say, we may be watching her on TV beyond her college years.
Yep. She's 6'4".
She's 6'2".
6'2". She plays like she's about 7 feet.
She got a goaltending call the other day, so that tells you anything.
There we go. Frenship goes to Midland Friday, 6 p.m. at the Schapp Center. We're going to come back after the break and talk Lubbock Cooper. Lubbock Cooper baseball. I got to make sure I get the right school here on the High School Fan Zone.